While improving food security, agricultural productivity, and expanding agribusiness opportunities top the agenda at the panel discussions held on day 2 of the Africaribbean Trade and Investment Forum in Georgetown, Guyana. The Governor of Lagos State, Babajide Sanwo-Olu, was one of the panelists, and he discussed challenges as well as opportunities in the agricultural space in Africa and the Caribbean.
As a political head, so I have that, overall responsibility to ensure that at the end of the day, right, people get what they require, people get food in the market, they have food in their home, and that's what our responsibility is, right? And like I was saying back down before we came up here, it's really about how do we create all of the access that is required for this great conversation that we're having here. What are the red tapes as policymakers, as government officials that we need to remove so that business to business, farmers to farmers, they can handhold each other and we can reduce, cross-border issues. We can reduce, tariffs and rates and things that can, be a disincentive for all of the collaborations and the conversations that we're having here. And so listening here, for me, it's really how do we engage, our government? How do we engage, our policymakers? How do they understand and appreciate all of the challenges that we have? Because we can have all of these good things, right, if we don't get the government officials to be there so that they remove all of the red tape, so that they reduce all of the bureaucracies, that can come in, then we'll probably just be, talking, above their head. So I'm excited that I'm sitting here and I've been able to pick, some of the challenges and some of the things that you want us to do differently. And for me, running a government or running a region that is an off-taker, that is a user of all of your products. Really, it's for us to be able to create that ambience where you can come into that market quicker, faster, and with reassurance, that the market is open and is ready for you.
If they have sustainable sales and sustainable cash flows, the problem is the volatility, and the problem is the institutional framework that they work in. So if they have the proper know-how and capacity building, and if they have the sustainable cash flows and sales through, and that is where I come here, is the offtake, is the integration between the larger ones and the smaller ones. If they can secure offtake agreements by the larger companies or the companies that have the network and the export and network, then the problem is solved. You will not have a problem at all. In addition, of course, to multilateral institutions that can support. But again, they would put a lot of conditions of volatility of cash flows, volatility of sales. So having this solved, then it's a home run, by all means.
Yeah, that's a very interesting and important question. One of the main challenges that our private sector has, especially small and medium-sized enterprises, is accessing finance. How can we ensure that farmers have, and SMEs have long-term, affordable finance to be able to carry out their products? When you talk about food security, a lot of the time you're involved farming or fishing. For farming, it is more long-term or medium-term. You don't plant a tree and you start getting crops right away. So the African Bank is helping the countries to have this type of funds. We hope that we can also work with them in guaranteeing schemes and other financial instruments that will allow our SMEs and farmers really to produce. And like I was trying to say in the conference, our dream is that tomorrow, farming or agricultural life and poverty are not synonymous in Africa or the Caribbean, which unfortunately, many cases is the truth.